If you've been counting down the days until you can finally throw out those visa extension letters and call the UK your permanent home, then you need to pay close attention. This could be the most important immigration update you'll hear. This year, 2025 is shaping up to be a watershed year for UK immigration, with sweeping proposals and newly implemented changes that could completely transform the path to both indefinite leave to remain ILR and British citizenship. Some rules are already in effect. Others are on the horizon, but all of them carry serious implications for migrants living in the UK today. Getting caught off guard or misunderstanding these developments could lead to years of delay, unexpected costs, or even a denied application. But don't worry, I'm here to help guide you through this complex and fast-evolving landscape. In this video, I'll walk you through the current ILR process, break down the major changes taking effect in 2025, and explain how they could impact your journey toward permanent settlement and British nationality. Let's begin. What is indefinite leave to remain ILR? Think of indefinite leave to remain as the UK's version of permanent residency. It gives you the legal right to live, work, and study in the UK without time restrictions and without having to apply for visa renewals again, but the benefits don't stop there. With ILR, you gain full access to the NHS, the freedom to take any job or start your own business, and potentially become eligible for public funds or benefits, should you ever need them. Most importantly, ILR is your gateway to British citizenship. And if you have children after receiving ILR, they'll be automatically born as British citizens, giving them full rights from birth. The path to ILR has traditionally followed a clear and structured route. For most applicants, it begins with holding a qualifying visa such as a skilled worker visa or a spouse partner visa and maintaining continuous lawful residence in the UK for a minimum of 5 years. But continuous residence comes with strict rules. The Home Office sets a limit of no more than 180 days of absence from the UK any rolling 12-month period. No, this isn't based on calendar years. It's calculated on a rolling basis, which means that every day matters. Whether you're on a short holiday or a work trip, it all counts. An English language qualification at B1 level, speaking and listening under the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages (CEFR). This proves you can communicate effectively in day-to-day life. You'll need to take the test through a Home Office approved provider, the Life in the UK test, a 45-minute exam with 20 for multiple choice questions. Topics cover British history, laws, customs, and values, and you must score at least 75% to pass. The questions are drawn from the official guidebook, Life in the United Kingdom, a guide for new residents. And finally, you must pass the good character requirement, which means having no serious or recent criminal history, no immigration violations, and an overall clean record in the UK. For years, this framework has served as the foundation for most settlement cases. But now, the government is making its most significant changes in decades. Let's talk about what's changing and what's already changed. In May 2025, the UK government released a white paper and official policy document outlining proposed reforms to the immigration system. One of the most significant proposals in that paper, doubling the qualifying period for ILR from 5 years to 10 years for most work-based visas. That's right, the journey to permanent residency could become twice as long, and a much longer period of uncertainty before achieving settled status. While the proposal hasn't yet become law, its release marks a clear signal of where immigration policy is headed. And if history is any guide, these types of changes often move quickly. While some changes remain proposals, others have already taken force. As of July 22, 2025, new restrictions have been introduced for skilled worker visas. Only roles requiring a degree-level qualification are now eligible under this visa route. This change has effectively removed over 180 job roles from the list of qualifying occupations. In a separate but equally impactful move, the health and care worker visa route for adult social care roles has been closed to new applicants from overseas. If you're already in the UK under this visa, You can still extend, but new overseas applicants will no longer be accepted for these specific positions. These measures significantly limit the options available to migrants seeking employment in key sectors. They also raise serious concerns about staff shortages in critical industries, particularly healthcare and social care. From ILR to citizenship, the final step once you've secured ILR, the next step on your immigration journey is naturalization. As a British citizen. To apply for citizenship, you'll typically need to hold ILR for at least 12 months, continue to reside in the UK, with no more than 450 days outside the country in the last 5 years, and no more than 90 days abroad in the final 12 months. There's an exception if you're married to a British citizen. In that case, you can apply immediately after receiving ILR, and the absence limits change to 270 days in the last 3 years. You'll also need to rely on the same life in the UK test pass and B1 English qualification you used for ILR. And again, the good character requirement applies. The most controversial rule change: good character redefined. Here's where things get serious. On February 10, 2025, the Home Office introduced new guidance that significantly toughens the good character requirement. Under these rules, anyone applying for British citizenship on or after this date, whoever entered the UK unlawfully, will normally be refused regardless of how long ago that entry took place or whether they've since been granted asylum or leave to remain. This applies especially to individuals who arrived via unauthorized routes, including small boats or by concealment in vehicles. This marks a seismic change, one that could create a permanent barrier to citizenship for individuals who may have lived legally in the UK for years, contributed to the community, paid taxes, and even raised families here. For many long-term residents, especially those with refugee backgrounds, this could be the single most impactful rule change in years. With all these changes unfolding, what's the best course of action? Here's what immigration experts are advising. Don't panic, but start preparing. The 10-year ILR proposal is not yet law, but it signals the likely future direction of immigration policy. Document everything. Start tracking your time outside. The UK uses spreadsheet, keep boarding passes, flight confirmations, and calendar notes. Make sure you're within the allowed absence limits for ILR and citizenship. Take your required tests early. If you're approaching your 5-year qualifying period, now is the time to book your life in the UK test and your English language exam. Having these completed in advance gives you flexibility when the time comes to apply. Get expert advice. If you have any complications, such as immigration breaches in your past, long absences, or uncertainty about your visa route, speak with an immigration solicitor or advisor. These new rules leave little room for error. Apply early if you can. If you currently meet the eligibility criteria for ILR or citizenship, it may be in your best interest to apply sooner rather than later before any stricter regulations come into force. There's no denying it, 2025 is a turning point for UK immigration. The journey towards settlement and citizenship is becoming more complex, more restrictive, and in some cases, much longer, but being well-informed and proactive can make all the difference. If this video helped clarify your next steps, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more in-depth updates on immigration policy. We'll continue covering every major change as it happens so you never get left behind. If you have questions about your own case, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to respond or point you toward the right resources. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next update.